them, and they will crush them. That's my take about that particular one.
Now they are going to roll out 5,000 Fulani vigilantes as counter in 36 states.
It's not possible. Are you saying that in all local government we have 5,000 people in each local government, which is not actually true? It is not true. All what they are just saying, I'm still saying it. They are afraid. They are what? They are afraid. How many are Fulanis?
Almost 5% of the population.
They are not to 5% of the population. So what they are just saying, they are just making mouth. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make anything. Like that of fear grips Oba. They went to kidnap an Oba in his palace. My brothers and sisters, it has started. They are gradually kidnapping the rich. They are gradually kidnapping the high net people. Because of what? They fail to tell the truth. They fail to address the issue that we are having. Rather, they are supporting what they are not supposed to support. If care is not taken, the governors, the senators will be next in line because they will begin to kidnap them. That is when they will now come to their real senses and say, let us tackle this menace. I still say it. They are not bandits. They are terrorists. The government in power know them. They should fish them out. If they fish them out, Nigeria will be a better place to live. And the so-called agitation of the Oduduwa Republic, the IPOB, all those things will die naturally. If the governors, the senators come out to say the truth, all those agitation will die naturally. That's my take about that.
Okay, thank you very much for your wonderful analysis this morning. We have Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, good morning.
Good morning.
The Miyetti Allah have come to say that Ebube Agu and Amotekun won't stop them. What are the things that they are doing that they are saying they won't stop them?
I think the mentality of Miyetti Allah speaks to an organization that run with impunity. By all standards, if you are an organization recognized by Nigerian law, it is not sufficient for you to start threatening other Nigerians. We have seen in the past where even the government itself tried to play as if they are spokesman or spokesperson for the Miyetti Allah. I think the government has so much tolerated Miyetti Allah, especially under this administration. Because by our standard, the excesses of the Fulani henchmen we are seeing, the Miyetti Allah's position is even the one encouraging them. Because I've never seen any time Miyetti Allah will come out to condemn nefarious activities being perpetrated by headers across board in this country. They maim people, they kill people, they rape women, they destroy crop, and all this you don't see Miyetti Allah coming out to condemn these activities. So what I'm saying is, it is evident that Fulani henchmen globally, they are terrorist organization.
Like the United Nations.
The global terrorists, they say that Fulani henchmen, that they are the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. So to that extent, I think if the government of Nigeria is serious to address the myriad of security challenges, they should know the step to take and they should know where to go to. Because the situation where you are having so many people kidnapped on daily basis, look at what is happening in Kaduna State, look at what is happening in Zamfara, look at what Gumi is saying, that federal government should give bandits amnesty. On what basis? These are criminals who have no justification to take to arm, and they want to force the country to start giving them fund through amnesty. And we have seen in the past where the government have blamed the influence of Fulani into Nigeria as a result of the crisis in Libya. we have seen in the past where a Ganduje have said that to stop this clashing between herders and whole communities, that there's every need to stop Fulani movement from Libya, from Niger, from Burkina Faso, from neighboring African countries into Nigeria. And these are people who are crude in nature. They have no respect for Western laws. I'm not saying every Fulani man is a criminal. I'm not saying the Fulani man should not do his or her legitimate business. We have seen in the past where Fulani herdsmen move about. They are nomadic in nature, so they move about doing their business. But it's unfortunate that the modern Fulani who have infiltrated into the ranks of the traditional Fulani have end up giving all the Fulani a bad name. The way it stands, a Fulani, that name Fulani have been stigmatized in Nigeria. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Apart from some few persons in the north, every other Nigerian is united against Fulani. Because look at, it's not just about Fulani terrorism. Because the way it stands, it's unfortunate anyway. There is that stigmatization when it comes to Fulani. I'll tell you something. Federal government have tried to do Ruga. Why is it that in spite of the whole value chain attached to that livestock program, no state is willing, especially in the south, is willing to sign on and provide land for Ruga to take off. Look at the popular livestock transformation program, already consummated and signed by the 36 governors. Tell me any southern governor that the way it stands today that will volunteer land for that program. To be quite honest with you, cattle rearing is a good business, but the way they have done it and the way it's being driven by Fulani nationality, no governor, no traditional ruler, no land owner in the south will be willing to volunteer land for either Ruga, that national livestock transformation program, or any other program that want to advance the livestock program when it comes to do with rearing of cow. And it's unfortunate. So what I'm saying is, what the government needed to do is to profile the bad eggs.
That's Mietiala.
Not just the Mietiala.
Because now Amotekun and these people they are fighting insecurity. And if a Mietiala will say that they won't stop us, that means they are the ones fomenting the trouble.
Okay, now look at this. Amatekun and Ebago, they are child of circumstance. The situation necessitated it. So if there were no killing, there were no clashes between herders and those communities, and if government were addressing this insecurity as and when due, Amatekun, there will not be need for Amatekun. There will not be need for Ebago. Though the Ebago of a thing, for me, is just in principle, it's not in practice. The government of the southeastern states, they just want to be in the good book of the federal government. That is why they are coming up with that Ebago of a thing. I don't see them operating. Because in the southeast, the governors are like working as opposition to the people. Bible said that. I think what is pertinent at this point is for the government to live above board. I think the government, the way it's being driven, there's every that sense of these people are Mr. President's people. As such, you handle their issue with levity. But a good leader, what a good leader does is, irrespective of who owns is God, you rise above your parochial interests. You handle issues based on because of the interests of Nigerians generally. I could remind you, under Obasanjo, when OPC SSS was threatening the corporate existence of Nigeria, Obasanjo at the time arrested their leader, and he was kept in prison. Even as weak as Jonathan